Hi, everyone. I'm trying to get both Instagram and YouTube to go live at the same time. I kind of did it. Kind of. Hi, you guys. Now let's think about centering things. Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday, about 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today is our Tangent and Tarot Day. So, hi, Pearl. As everybody gets in the room, either on YouTube or in Instagram, just say hi. Hi. Yeah, I don't like today is kind of yesterday was a holiday. Today is the most Mondayest feeling Tuesday ever, right? And so we're going to do some live tarot questions about halfway through, and we'll just kind of chit chat here in the beginning. Everybody say hi. Hi. When we get to the live tarot questions, you guys are always so great about helping each other out in the room, in the chat. But when we get to that portion, which will be, 15, 30 minutes in, I see you, Val, over there. Then we'll just do first come, first serve. Basically, whoever types in first when I announce it, then I'll take questions. And you guys, again, are so wonderful about helping each other in the community and helping those who are new to joining us for our live tarot. Just keep explaining. We'll chit-chat for a little bit, check in on the Unicorn Wellness community and what's going on the site and with each other and in the cosmos, and then we'll get to the live tarot readings. Okay? Hi, Chris. So yes, it is a very Monday feeling Tuesday because of the holiday. Hi, Anne. And we're just kind of trying to keep up with things, right? Like, hey, all right, we're going to put things back in order and back on track. My family and I were traveling this past week, Thursday through yesterday. So it's been a like, hey, let's get everybody back to school sort of scenario and back to, yay. The regular setup of things. I think the biggest thing today is I actually don't have a huge tangent for you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a sad thing. The moons are, in Pisces. Then we head into, like my brain this week is a little into Aries and then into Taurus. So yesterday, if you all have not watched your weekly live tarot, go back and watch that when we're done. That weekly tarot is really starting to drive the week, right? Even for those who are members at UnicornWellness.Studio and you get your monthly tarot reading, your new moon and your full moon, these are like the overviews, right? And it gives us so much to work with, but these weeklies are kind of like the driving force of what's happening right now and giving us more calm and more support. And maybe even more motivation, right, for the week of how to handle things, how to get through things, how to grow through things, and how to transition and really integrate the lessons that we're getting. The Pisces is where we're at today. Pisces is hard to focus. It has a lot of us wanting to crawl back in bed. It's very dreamy, can be very melancholy and all the feels. It can also be a super high time for messaging and answers and from your guides and guardian angels and from divine spirit. So it's a really beautiful time to do an extra meditation, a little extra long meditation, ask pointed questions like, what do you really want to know? And yesterday in the weekly tarot, I went over and we came through, hi, Tudata, that this week may be kind of interesting and somewhat a little rocky in the feels boat, right? Because Pisces offers the deep feels and kind of needs to hide and be reclusive and introverted. We cruised right into Aries, which wants to go, 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 go. And I see this as an opportunity to really transmute some things and to heal some things and move from the feels and the hurt into the, okay, here's how I integrate it. Here's how I use the lesson into that Aries energy of starting something and being really enthusiastic about it. Moon's in Taurus towards the end of the week. And I love me some Taurus, right? Taurus season just ended. I'm a Taurus sun. Taurus is very grounded, very stable energy. It can be super snuggly too. So I feel like towards the end of this week, not necessarily emotional roller coaster, but definitely a little bumpy waves, and then by the end of the week we go, oh, I see how that made sense. I know what I'm starting and how to integrate these lessons. And then we move into Taurus integrates things for the long haul and plants and plans and works diligently at things. So I think energetically, it's a beautiful offering this week and opportunity. So just sift through the feels. what I was encouraged to bring to you today as a message or the tangent before we get into the live tarot readings is really when it comes to the moon cycles, you don't have to be female to track by the moon cycles, right? And if you're not, especially for the unicorns and UnicornWellness.Studio, and for those of you who show up that are starting to show up consistently for these live readings, if you all are not tracking by the moons in your own personal fields, it's time to do so. You don't have to have a round calendar, although circular calendar is really nice. But you can do it in your regular calendar days, and there's a great little app. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's just called Luna that I have. It'll tell you where the moon is that day in your time zone. And what I think is really nice to do is just start to track your feels. A little melancholy, a little sad, hard to focus, super energetic, right? Like go, 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 endurance, fire. And start to see where you function best and where your personal cycle needs a little restoration. In addition, hi, Joy. In addition to, good morning, Sarah, our typical ebb and flow of the new and the full moon, because the new and the full moon guides all of us as a collective. It is true, right? The new moon asks us to be quieter, to be in meditation, to hunker down, to rest and restore as a big old, that's what it does. Full moon gives us additional energy, and depending on where we're at in our personal spectrum, it either drives us and feeds us and keeps us awake and gives us extra oomph and juice to get things done, to finish them, to bring them to culmination. For some, hi, you guys. I love all the emojis. I love emojis. It's my 12-year-old cartoon brain. I dig it. But full moons can also exhaust, right? If you haven't given yourself enough self-care and are tending to others too much, I think that the full moon can really exhaust you. It's too much frequency. But when we get into the day-to-day moons, this is how we can use it, hi, Melissa, to really start to cultivate our genuine best lives and use our personal energy and frequency to its highest and greatest good. Because we're not all wired completely the same, right? That's why we have an astrological birth chart. We have a natal chart that says these are the things that you're naturally great at, and here are the things you're going to be naturally challenged at, because this is how they sit in your chart. This is where our lessons and blessings are. So your astrological natal chart is considered the blueprint of your soul in this incarnation. So the point of looking at your natal chart is to go, where's the ease? Where are the gifts, right? And then where's the challenge? So I know where to put my focus and where to put the work, so I'm not just spinning wheels here. So what was called to me today to bring to you all was that if you're not tracking day to day by the moons just yet, then maybe just start to think about it. Just stick it in your phone. I mean, that's the beauty of technology, right? We want to use it in the constructive ways that aid our celestial divine life and help balance humanity and divinity, not be sucked into the pixels and let it run us ragged. So I think it's really important to stop and go, how do I feel today? And how did I feel yesterday? Because we're in the Pisces new moon right now. Right? So how does that make us feel? If you've got Pisces in your sun, your rising, or your moon placement, it's going to be extra feely. There's just no way around it, especially if your moon is in Pisces. Mine. Okay? So then we move into Aries, right? Later this week. Stop and go, am I Aries, sun, rising, or moon? And is that going to give me extra to the week? So I'm just repeating here because, one, we're all kind of gathering in the room. And two, I want to make it really clear. It's really powerful to track by the moons on a day-to-day level. Hi, Jen. And really start to see how your personal ebb and flow goes, because this will speak to and because of your astrological natal chart. So if you haven't done a Simple Stars chart with me, then, get it in the calendar, put it in planning, place it as a goal for yourself to do so, because then when we meet on Mondays and Tuesdays and we talk about the new and the full moons, you have a personal reference point to it, which is the point. Yeah, so Pisces, sun, rising, and moon right now is a little extra feely. Pisces moon days, I should just put the door hanger and gone fishing, I will get things done, but on Pisces moon days, I just commit to only doing the necessary maintenance, or a very dreamy writing project I love to do on moon and Pisces days, something that is creative, that kind of brings forth. So if you are not, a super feely, so Pisces rising, this is also going to be like your heart-centered self. So this is going to be your true soul self, right? And if you're Pisces sun, this is how you present yourself to the world and how the world sees you. So just start to make little notes. I mean, I know y'all, my unicorns all have journals somewhere, and they've all got a little calendar somewhere. Just start to make little tick marks of where your high vibration energy is, where you can really get things done, and start to map your projects to that as best you can, because this helps you manage your own energy levels, helps you use your magic to its best ability. And we're not all, exactly the same when it comes to those things. So there's an extra push in the ethers for y'all to hear and to be guided towards tracking your day-to-day moons just on the emotional level. So I definitely always want your analytics and your smarts in play, but I think the smartest people are emotionally intelligent, like keyed into their intuition, how do they really feel. But people, and unicorns actually, not necessarily people, right? Who can distinguish between their feelings and their deep feels, because these are different things. As humans, we have feelings. I talk about this in the Unicorn Wellness Handbook, that we have feelings, and man, they can be surly and angry and messy and and we need to have them, and we need to express them, but we also need to understand that every feeling and everything we label as a feeling is not our intuition and is not our deepest heartfelt guidance from divine energy. So your feels, your intuition, I always aim at the gut for this, because I will totally post the Moon Tracker app in Facebook group after this. I totally will. Because I don't know why. I think it's iLuna, actually. Hi, Pink Rose. So just go check that out. Like yesterday's, again, referring back to yesterday's weekly tarot reading, that, about boundaries. And this is a lot about what the reading yesterday was all about, boundaries with ourselves, like where we cross our own boundaries and where we let other people cross our boundaries. And then we're feeling angry and upset and frustrated and energetically depleted because we're not protecting ourselves. And boundaries doesn't have to be a fight, and it doesn't have to be an argument. This is okay with me. I'm available at this time. I'm totally ready, willing, and help, and we'll do whatever needs to be done to help in this time. I can't do it right now. I'm just going to get angry and frustrated about it at this time, right? So in addition to how we place our boundaries and how we work with them constructively in order to serve the highest and greatest good of our personal soul evolution in this incarnation, there's a little note to look at the daily moons of how do you feel in this daily moon, right? Like, how's the moon working you? And knowing when to say yes to projects or when to say no, or when to rearrange and reschedule a project, because the moon's not in the right spot to support it. And then some people, they're not going to be unicorns, they'll go, well, that just is silly. You can't have a perfect life, right? You can't arrange everything to perfectly fit your schedule. Sometimes you're going to need to do things in an off time because it just simply needs to be done. However, if you are tracking by the moons daily, and if you are here listening and trying to integrate the weekly tarot, then you are in flow most of the time, right? So then the times when you have to go a little bit against the flow, it's okay, right? It's a practice, not a perfect. And we're striving for things, and we're looking for the highest and greatest good most days, or more days than not. This is where I really talk about like hashtag better is better. Like, there is no perfect. And so that tiny dial on better, tiny upswings, tiny improvements make epic changes in your personal wellness, your personal feelings, your personal levels of joy, your capacity to heal, your capacity to show up, and your capacity to help. So, all these tiny bits get sprinkled, like unicorn does, all over the place for a bunch of magic. Okay, so moons are in Pisces, Aries, and Taurus this week. I feel like there's some rough, deep feels right now. You guys can share what you think about it. I love to hear from you. Workouts on the side are pretty, moderate right now. Not super simple. It's not our constructive rest week, and it's not the full moon like full force is the most amount of energy that you have to give. So remember to keep going back to the mat. I think in watery moons in particular, like Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, it's very important to continue to get on the mat so that we have some sense of grounding. Getting on the mat is an element of grounding. It can also be used as a moving meditation. So For those of you that are already members at UnicornWellness.Studio, like, just don't avoid it. Sometimes when we get into that like melancholy deep feels, we're like, I'm just gonna go back to bed. No, go do your work. Like, it's like, I say, it's like brushing your teeth, right? Like, when you don't feel good, you just skip brushing your teeth. Maybe you do every once in a while, right? But like, getting on the mat is like brushing our teeth and flossing. It gets that day-to-day gunk out of there, and it helps ease the flow, and it helps open the energetic flow so things don't get stuck and turn into pain and illness. Okay, so get on the mat today. If you're not a member of UnicornWellness.Studio, use the code for your 30 days free on the site. If you're showing up here for the free tarot readings and you like what the conversations are about, and you understand that we're here as an ascension practice for learning, for expansion, for helping the highest and greatest good of all involved, then you need to be in the practical day-to-day tactics of it too on the mat. That's really where the stars hit the concrete. I'm not interested in all of the ethereal energetic work if it doesn't make a difference in our day-to-day life. It's not purposeful then. It's not useful. Then it's like spiritual masturbation. Like, yay, hey, I meditated. Yay, hey, I'm talking about all these things. I pulled some tarot cards, but there really wasn't a union or a connection with anyone for deep connection and deep feels, right? So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, if you're here for the readings, then please give yourself that extra bit and get here online for the movement patterns and the workouts, because that's where you're really going to receive healing from me as a practitioner, and where you're going to work your own magic in your own energies, in your own body, in your own energetic field on a day-to-day level that really builds to beautiful things and a super stable sense of self. Okay? Oh, good. This time slot is good for the West Coast peeps. Yes. Well, Melinda, yeah, that's what I've heard too. And I love that. And this is why I wanted to push it, is that I can't pick a time that's perfect for everybody, but I do try my best. We have a lot of West Coast members, and even though I'm on the East Coast. So yeah, West Coasters, you guys get to get up and do your meditation and your mat and then hop on, and we've met as a community, which is super cool. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's like thunderstorming outside and raining. So if you hear big old gusts of like lightning, it's going to be an exciting reading day today. Okay, well, if there's not a lot of comments and sharing for the moons or the feels or the workouts or this month's meditation, I haven't really heard from you guys about this month's meditation. If you like it, if you don't, if it's like, hey, just, marking time, that's fine too. So let me know. But if there's not a lot of comment or conversation or questions about the moons or the energy or the workouts, then let's start some tarot readings, y'all. Yeah, you may hear thunder in the background, so just be aware of that. And I've got the air conditioner on, so I probably should have turned it off so it was a little quieter. If it bothers you guys, let me know. I'll turn it off. Yeah, the moon is my calendar is a great one. April, her calendar is really beautiful, and I've recommended it a lot to our community. It is a circular lunar calendar, and it's like one of 3 I've ever seen, and they're really beautiful. So you can always go seek hers out. But understand too that you don't have to buy stuff in order to do this. You don't have to have certain tools to do it. You just have to, apps are great. You can go online. You can look at if you Google where are the planets today, there's a website that always shows you where exactly all the planets are at this moment. And so you can just track the moon by that and then start to make a little marker of how do I feel today? And then look at that 2 or 3 months at a time. I just know at this stage in the game, Moon in Pisces days, I'm floundering a little. I get a little melancholy. It's a great day for me to journal or to read. I do an extra meditation, and I'm kind of slow to do any analytical planning stuff. So I just try not to on these days. Other days, I'm like, right in there. Capricorn moon, Virgo moon, I am on it. So there you go. All right. For those of you who have questions today for the tarot, you will just type them in, first come, first serve. I'll probably do around 15, 10 to 15. We'll see how it goes, what is needed or wanted for today. Make sure that you're writing questions in a way that can be answered yes or no, okay? aim for, make it one question, not a this and then that and then that. Because this is like, it's kind of a quick fire, quick draw sort of scenario. And I can bring through a lot of information, but we want to be precise on the questions. And it'll just be first come, first serve. So we've got both Instagram and YouTube going. Okay. So I will alternate between the two. And as it gets later in the hour, I'll finish up on Instagram first because it shuts off before YouTube does. Okay, you guys? So single card tarot pulls. I'm using Wonderland of Tarot. First come, first serve. Whoever types fastest wins, right? Phrase it in a way, a question that can be answered yes or no, and keep it to one question per person and one question that you're asking of the cards. I'm going to start with Instagram, okay? Okay, so Jen Richter on Instagram. Does Vivian need speech therapy? Okay, let me see. Man, when it comes to our kids, right? We're like trying to navigate best we can. I had one of those this weekend. I don't ask the cards a ton about my kids, but I did this weekend. I was like, y'all, I just need some clarity. So Jen, let's get you some clarity on speech therapy for Vivian. Does Vivian need speech therapy? That's interesting. Okay, so it's a yes, but it's a really celebratory yes. It's a 4 of Wands. Okay, and Jen's, let me try to, I know you guys on YouTube can't see it now, but Jen's on Instagram and I'm trying to give her a full shot of the card first. Okay, so Jen, this is your answer. It's a yes, but it's very celebratory. This is not like a, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't like a stumbling block. This isn't a, like, it's going to be epic and hard. 4 of Wands is a celebration and a commitment. Okay, so this is a commitment to the long term for her, but it's kind of a short-term celebration. Usually this denotes a marriage or a wedding. Again, it's a union and a happy commitment to something. This is such a sweet card in this deck because they're having a tea party and it's all over kitty cats and it's really comfy and it's very cozy, right? There's also a call here that you can get her, like it's a yes for speech therapy, but there's also a yes about you guys spending, like having little tea parties together and repeating certain things and working with her in a very playful, cozy, connected way that it might just be some one-on-one time and some dedicated quiet time away from so many people. I kind of hear that she's the kind of kid that likes to practice things without other people around. And if she's not hearing what she's supposed to practice, then she doesn't know what to practice. And then she's like hesitant to speak in front of other people. So some kids are totally cool with like practicing out loud, making mistakes out loud. She doesn't like to make mistakes in front of other people. But if you can get her into a quieter, cozy environment where it feels like play and it feels like fun, then she's going to get what she needs and it's not going to take forever and it's going to be like this kind of beautiful little, like you gave water to the plant and it starts to grow. Okay. All right. So then let's hop on over to YouTube. So again, you guys on Instagram clicks off first. So anybody who's on Instagram who wants to ask a question of the tarot, you may, and I'll try to get to you guys first. Okay. You're welcome, Jen. And then we're going to head over to YouTube right now. So what do we got? Melinda, should you share the profound insights you had after reading Primal Wound? Should you share the insights with your mother? I'm so glad you read that book, Melinda. It's kind of a game changer, I think. For anybody who's adopted, it is a complete game. It was a complete eye-opener game changer for me. It's like it kind of pulls the wound, the scab off the wound, but then allows for healing. So should you share the insights with your mother? That's an interesting one. Okay, so Melinda, this is a Wheel of Fortune. I would say that this is a yes. Yeah, it's a yes. Okay, that's a yes. But Wheel of Fortune always denotes change for the better, positive outcomes. This is always like the universe is on your side on this one and that you want to go with it. Like you've got this information now in a certain amount of timing, and it's a big old yes to share it. I don't know that she'll hear it, but it's going to be more healing for you. Make sure that you go at it from a place of I'm saying this for me as a source of empowerment and clarity and potentially boundary setting. And not letting yourself tread past your own boundaries anymore and, wanting to see where things end up constructively, but not trying to change her mind about things. So, Melinda, that's a yes. Okay. Rupali, has Jay talked to his mother in past 2 to 3 months about me? You ask about Jay every week, Mama. Okay, so has Jay talked to his mother in the past 2 to 3 months about you? Did you ask Jay that? Rupali, has Jay talked to his mother? Yeah, that's a yes, because this is a lover's card. And this is major arcana card, so this is like soul spiritual connections. I hope Instagram can see this as well. I'm trying to keep, I have a new setup today, so I'm still working the light and all that. So that's a yes, Rupali, because the lover's card is partnership cards, right? This is soulmates cards. And it's funny because it's like the king and queen are there with Alice. So it's, you know, there's a party of 3 here when it comes to relationships. So yeah, that's a yes. Chris, are you on the right path with your mother wound processing? That's a good question right now with all this Pisces energy. So Chris, are you on the right path with your mother wound processing? And those of you who are on Instagram know that you can type your questions in and ask as well. I'm going back and forth between YouTube and Instagram. So Chris, are you on the right path with your mother wound processing? That's a yes. It's a 7 of Pentacles, and that just means keep going. It's usually, 7 of Pentacles is a lot about looking at what you've made, looking at what has happened, looking at what is, and reevaluating and rethinking. I hear journaling, you know, I hear journaling a lot for this. Chris, it's very loud. And there's also messaging, right? Okay, sorry. It's like a little noisy right now. It's a yes. Keep doing what you're doing. You are on the right path. Journaling is going to be an excellent way to really sift and sort this. And it is about editing and re-editing and going back and looking at what you wrote and how you feel. And then in this deck, it's got a big old crow at the top. That's always a message from deceased spirits. And I hear family. So that's where, I don't know if you have really close family who's passed, you know, like a grandmother or grandfather that you were really, really close to, that they're trying to bring some messages through about this wound also. So just have your ears and your brain open, you know, that's kind of all. Yeah, I'm going to go back and forth between the questions here, between Instagram and between YouTube, and do my very best. Let's go back to Instagram. K-Dear, is there a second baby in the cards for trying? Is there a second baby in the cards for trying? This is beautiful. This is a maybe, okay? And I know that's like it's not a no, it's a maybe. Understand when you ask questions about other people, it can be very challenging to get a hard yes or no sometimes, unless they're your partner, unless they're your child, like when you're really connected to somebody, because their karma is involved. Their decisions where they're at on a spiritual level are involved in things as well. But if there's a second baby in the cards for trying, this is a maybe. So the star card tells us to wish big, like aim for the biggest things. It's very wishful. It solves for the highest and greatest good of all. I hear a yes in here, but it came through as a maybe first. I think there's some decisions for trying to make and to sort and to be very clear about what is wanted. And then that denotes whether or not there's room for another soul to be ushered in or not. Okay, so it was a big maybe that is like kind of transitioned into a yes, but it depends on decisions and choices that Trine makes. So this is contingent, right? If this, then that. So this is always a call. The star card is always a call. It's the card of Aquarius, but it solves for the highest and greatest good. It's always the call to like really... not vision boarding, because I'm not a giant fan of vision boards, but of really creating a life by design, sitting down and going, what do I really want? What really makes me, happy? Asking the 3 questions, right? If I knew I couldn't fail, what do I really want? If I had $100 million in the bank, what would I do with it and who would I be? And right at the moment, I can't remember what the 3rd question is. That kind of covers it though, right? Like if you had unlimited resources and if you didn't fail, what would life look like? Okay, so make sure the trine is like doing some real like soul searching of what do I really want out of life? Because you're going to have to make decisions in order to make room to usher in another soul, right? Having a baby is a big old thing. I got 2 plus a stepson. It's more than just bringing, you know, somebody else in. You have to rearrange in order to make room. Okay, so that's what I hear. And then something fell out too. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is about mastery. So Katie, for trying, there's something about mastery. Maybe 3rd time's the charm. I don't know. Yeah, I hear 3rd time's the charm. Whatever that means, right? Okay, and let me go back to YouTube, and then I'll come back to Instagram. Yeah, Rose, you totally can ask a question here in a minute. Let me just scroll through, okay? Try to keep fair and clear with all of these. No, Sarah, you didn't miss Unicorn Bingo. Today's just a regular tangent and just asking questions day. We'll do our new moon, I think, next week. So it's fine. And Melinda, oh, good. Yeah, that book's kind of a game changer. There we go. And then Sarah. Okay, let's do yours. So Sarah Hoy, should you go to the family reunion this summer? And then I'll be back to the Instagram questions, okay? So Sarah, should you go to the family reunion this summer? Okay, that's the devil card. That's kind of a no. The devil's not necessarily a bad card. It's a card I actually really like. It's always about like the devil's in the details, and it has a lot to do with personal choices in things. Like, you know, right, Sarah? It's kind of funny. I was like, that's kind of grim, you know, but this is a grim look at the Mad Hatter's tea parties. Everything's broken and kind of grumpy and surly, and I just get this like, no, don't go. You're going to step into some family mess that you don't really need to stir in, and it's going to be about like drama and the blah, blah, and like, you don't need to show up for that. Your frequency is much higher than that now. You're much more magical than that. Put a boundary on it. You can love your family from a distance and gather with those who are in a healthier space rather than showing up for the family reunion. That's what I got there. Okay, I'm going to go back to Instagram. Melissa, will A be truthful with me about the past? Will A be truthful with you about the past? That's a yes, and man, she's a fabulous card. I hope you can see that on Instagram. This is the Queen of Cups. Like I love the Queen. I love all the queens, right? But cups are about emotions and love and faith in love and faith in emotions and faith in miracles and above all, faith in divine energy, right? In God, goddess, you know, however you connect with it and whatever you want to call it, right? In this incarnation, that when we have faith in flow and the highest and greatest good, that allows us to believe in miracles. It allows us to believe in the best part of people. It also allows the best part of people to come out if they're courageous about it. So that's a yes, that A will be truthful. I think it's because, like, you know, she's calm about it. She waits for the message to come to her. She doesn't go seeking it, you know, because again, this is about love and emotions and like going with the flow. And it's kind of like if you are calm and sit on your damn throne and leave an open space and a supported space, they're gonna be honest about it. Okay. That's beautiful. Okay, Instagram, I think we had a little flow of stuff up here, so I'm gonna try to snag those again on here. Will you marry Omar in the future? I think we asked about this last week also. So when it comes to love questions, I want to be really clear for myself. There are readers who specialize in it. I tend to actually not love to do love readings, which is funny because I love things and life and people. But when it comes to love readings, we need to be communicating with our partners about where our futures are going. And they have a say in it too. They have feelings and decisions to make. And depending on their feelings and their decisions, it will change the outcome of the readings that we're giving, right? Because really in readings, we can only pertain to ourselves. And the highest resonance is going to come from our questions and our capacity to move forward for the highest and greatest good. But here we go with Afra, will you marry Omar in the future? This is an 8 of Pentacles. I mean, this is a maybe. This is a keep going, keep working, keep practicing, keep doing. This is a relationship that's, needs repetition and practice before there are answers. It's an interesting card too, because in Alice in Wonderland, or maybe it's through the looking glass, like this little scene, Alice is moving the pencil from above, and the king doesn't know it. And so this is one of those cards that always calls to the universe is moving strings from above sometimes, right? There's fate and free will. And sometimes sometimes I don't need the cards. We can't call it because things are still in motion and still in play. And others who are connected to the outcome haven't made decisions yet, and kind of don't know. So it's too far off in the future to know. Keep practicing, keep doing, which is just keep being in partnership for right now. 8 is the number of empowerment. The more you practice, the more empowered and the more masterful at something you become. So there's more work to be done in the relationship. It just kind of says, it's too early to tell right now, today. But always when there's questions about relationship, go talk to the partner, right? They're going to know better. Okay, hi, Vanessa. Okay, I'm going back to YouTube right now, and I'm going to scroll down and through. Okay, hang on. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, Karen, whenever on YouTube, whenever you guys ask questions, make sure you answer them in a phrase that can be answered yes or no with a single card kind of quick pull draw. Like I like to keep them like in a very clear and concise manner. So if you'll reword it, then I'll ask. We got time. Again, clear yes or no questions and questions that can be answered yes or no. Taryn, have you found your baby's name yet? Okay, this is 2, and it's funny because I could hear it even before it came out. It's a yes. So the 2 cards are 4 of Wands and the Sun. The Sun is about finding your true place in the sun. It's often a naked baby on the back of a white horse, so it's really like your true essence being brought into the universe, which I think is so beautiful. So the answer is yes, you do have the name. And then again, 4 of Wands, this is about a marriage and a celebration and a commitment to something. So make a commitment to that name because you know what it is. There we go. Let's see. Okay, so for everyone who's asking questions on YouTube, I love all the new faces in the room, and I'm so grateful that you're joining us today. Phrase the question in a way that can be answered yes or no. In a single card pull, we want definite, clear questions and answers, okay? And for me to be able to bring through additional information as it channels through. But the way it needs to be phrased is in a way that can be answered yes or no. And if anybody else on Instagram has questions, ask them now as the timer kind of keeps going on Instagram. We only get an hour. So I love to get you guys in before, if I can, okay? So here we go. What else? Will Sheldon get his karma for how he treated me? Well, karma always finds its way back. That's an always. Whether it's in this lifetime or another is different. So maybe a more constructive question is like, I love to have you all ask questions about yourself and your personal evolution forward rather than focus on other people if we can. But Ronnie, I'll ask because this is the question, but it's also like, yeah, karma always comes back around, but it's always a wonder if it's in this lifetime or another. And it's never about vengeance. It's about lessons and learning. And rather than worry about if other people got their lessons, and let's worry if we got ours, right? What can we learn from something that went really awry and really sour? Because the lesson's in it for us too, I promise. Okay. Ronnie, this is the card that came for you, was the Knight of Pentacles. It's a yes, it'll be slow. But Knight of Pentacles is slow. Knight of Pentacles just sits there. But they're not always fruitful, right? Because if they're not moving and not planting and not doing, this is like a game of pretend, like he thinks he's a knight in shining armor, but he's really not. So there's no need to really get wrapped up in whether he's getting his karma or not. Of course he will. Everyone does. But it's like it's a slow going sort of thing in this lifetime. In this lifetime, it's like he's playing pretend. So why you want to mess with somebody who's playing pretend? Go find the real knight, Be your own knight kind of thing. Because the Knight of Pentacles is like, especially in this deck, is a little like, I just get a very different read on this card today. That he's just so boastful and so pretending, and there's so much ego that it's like the Emperor's new clothes. He believes himself to be something that he's just not. So of course his karma is going to come around, but you don't need to sit around thinking about that. Move on, right? Okay, Instagram, you guys got anything for me? Vanessa, I know you have a question. I'm calling you out. Okay, let's see. Scrolling back. Sarah, I love you too. Okay. No, you guys don't have to apologize. I just want to help you get clear answers, and it's helpful to me in the way that it's phrased. It just gets better. I get better messaging, right? So there you go. Sarat, will you get married to your boyfriend? Will you and your boyfriend be able to be married? Just trouble from the parent side. Will the marriage happen? That's a yes, but it's definitely troubled, right? Like you just said it, there's trouble from the parent side. The Hierophant is a card of the teacher. It's also a card of structures and tradition. Ooh, that's loud. Sometimes the Hierophant you got to go running from, because it is, religion, and it is corporations, and it is structure that only serves their good. That, tradition isn't always useful. It can be highly repressive. And that's what I'm hearing, that like, yes, okay, here's what I hear. You can get married, but it will be in the structure of the tradition for it to happen in its current situation. That there's kind of a oppressiveness about it, and I just keep hearing structure about it, that you can, but it's really more of a choice. It's more like, do you want that? Do you agree to that? You can. Fate and free will, right? You can agree to go along with a lot of things, but is that for the highest and greatest good overall? Benita, does Ruben miss you? Okay. That's a good straight up yes or no. Oh, that's a yes. That Ruben misses you, because this is the Star card. It's very wistful. It's very wishful. She's reflecting in the pond, lots of reflection, a little bit of melancholy. But there's something about it that he misses you, but he feels that it's for the best that you're not together. So sometimes timing, even in lifetimes, is really poor for soulmates. And I hear a yes to that. And so sometimes that sadness is necessary and the melancholy is necessary. And it's kind of like, we'll get it the next lifetime sort of thing. That's what I hear right now. So that's a yes, he misses you. But there's also a reason that you're not together that serves a purpose. And really, the divine timing is such a pain in the tuchus sometimes. Sometimes the timing is just off. Okay. Okay. Marie, will you get a job offer this week? Love that question. Let's see. Will you get a job offer this week? Guys on Instagram, I know you're listening. You're awfully quiet. Ask your questions, because Instagram will time out in about 15 minutes or so. So I want to sneak you guys in before it does that. Okay, Marie, will you get a job offer this week? That is a yes. This is Ace of Pentacles. This is temporary opportunities, right? And Pentacles are about planting for the future and planting abundance and security. So it can be finances, it can be wealth, it can be joy, but all of those things would go along with a new job. So that's a yes of getting the offer. It's a temporary opportunity. It won't last forever, and you get to choose whether you move forward with it or not. Okay. All right. As we go through these questions, you guys, if you'll click the like button, it would be really helpful to me, and I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet already, please do. You can click the little bell. I'm live on Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays are weekly reading. We just gather as a community, but every Tuesday we do live tarot readings, and we'll talk about the new moon and the full moon when those times are appropriate, and then bringing through messages from my guides and guardians as it sees fit and wants us to hear and what it wants us to work on. Okay, let's look at for more questions here. Thank you on the accessories. Yeah, you guys can all ask questions like as we go. It's first come, first serve. I just try to scroll through the comments and grab them. There's not a particular list. Make sure you phrase it in a way that can be answered yes or no, because it's a single card pull and I get the best answers for you that way. And then I can also bring through any channeled information that's necessary for you. Okay? Anastasia, will your ex come back to you to get back together? I feel like I need to over and over about love questions. They are my least favorite to do. I'm always honest, right? I like the self-evolution work. I like the questions of the self. What are my next best steps forward for my greatest good, highest and greatest good? Fate and free will play so much of a role when it comes to relationships with others. And I always think it's best to ask others and communicate with them directly, because they can make choices that change the outcome of the reading that we're giving here. But I'm happy to give insight. So let's look at, will your ex come back and will you get back together? Anastasia. That's funny because this is a yes, Anastasia, because the Chariot is things coming to you or back to you that you've set in motion and worked on in the past. That's hysterical. I don't know that I've ever had that come up for a relationship card, but that's really funny. But also take note, in the Wonderland Tarot deck, she's holding a flamingo trying to, play croquet. It's kind of an awkward hold in a game that can't be won, so to speak. So just because he comes back to you because you put work into it in the past does not mean that it is meant for the future. So yes, he can come back. Yes, you can get back together. But again, fate and free will. Is this the best choice for your highest and greatest good in the long term? She trying to make a croquet mallet out of a flamingo. That's going to be a hard game to win, an impossible game to win. So although it's a yes, I would say beware for the future. Just because it happens and it comes back doesn't mean it's the choice for the highest and greatest good for the future. And I would say it's a little bit of it's a yes, but the long term's a no. So it's what is that worth to you? Might totally be worth it, right? Might not. That's okay. Delaney, is the recent decision you've been making toward a new career going in the right direction to balance personal fulfillment and financial success? That is an excellent question. Yes, on the questions. Okay. Is the recent decision you've been making towards a new career going in the right direction? Okay, one, there's so many beautiful things about this card, Delaney. This is the Knight of Swords, okay? So, Knight of Swords, he is the knight that you want on your side. This knight wins at all costs. They go charging, they get the goal, okay? One, it's a unicorn on a horse. So hello, Unicorn Wellness. Charging forward as your most magical, most balanced self. So the whole deal with Unicorn Wellness is that we want to balance humanity and divinity. We want manifestation and abundance and support in this lifetime so we can help, so we can have an amazing life, so we can have all of the pleasures that a 3D life gives us. But we want an equal anchor in the cosmos, in divinity, in understanding this isn't all there is, and knowing how to wield our magic in order to keep that balance on both sides, right, of humanity and divinity. So it's a yes. There's always a little caveat with the Knight of Swords, because the Knight of Swords is also the wiliest knight. He always gets his outcome. He's the one you want on his side. Swords are about intellect, acumen, and thought process. So the ways that you're thinking are absolutely correct. The little note of just so you know, the Knight of Swords can sometimes have a lot of casualties on the path through. So there's always a little bit of a, hey, just yes, you're on the right path. Yes, you're going to get to the goal. You might slow down just a tiny bit because, again, there's casualties in the way. And it's some of us, I'll be honest, sometimes you don't care. You're just I don't even care what the casualties are. Get me to the goal. And so keep charging, keep running. But when the Knight of Swords comes up and he gives you that little like, hey, what's up? You might care about some of the casualties. How can you make it a little more, it's usually about slowing down a tiny bit, going a little bit slower so there are less casualties along the way. Sometimes this heralds too, explaining things to people. I'm not big on explaining things. You don't have to. No is a complete sentence. If they're not paying your rent and they're not your partner, then they don't really totally get a say in things. But this is one about communication and maybe slowing down and sharing some of the reasons why and how in order to recruit help along the way rather than creating casualties. Yeah, okay, that took a minute to kind of refine, but there you go. So it's a yes. Oh, you're welcome, Benita. Okay, I'm scrolling through. Instagram, y'all aren't asking anything. You are missing your opportunities, but that's okay. I love you. Okay, let's look. Okay, make sure you all are asking questions that could be answered in a yes or no capacity. I pull one card. It allows for more efficiency and allows for clearer answers from me as well. One question per person. And then, let's see. Does Oscar have bad intentions towards you? Okay, Karen, here we go. Does Oscar have bad intentions towards you? This would be a no. This is Six of Pentacles. Six is the number of love. So it doesn't have bad intentions towards you. It's interesting because in this deck, you know, Alice is kind of side-eyeing thing, and the Mad Hatter's got a little bit of a like, what is going on here? You know, there's a shift of energy. It kind of feels like you all have shifted in relationship, and you're just trying to figure out how to function around each other without it being like it was. That's what I hear. So it feels odd. The way he's acting, I think, is protective, and so it may come out as like angry, but men aren't real good at feels, and so they tend to have one dial, which is anger or love, right? I mean, either or. So there's no ill intentions. I just hear like awkward transition. That's what I hear. Okay. So again, questions that can be answered yes or no for a single card pull. Lady, you're welcome. And we're getting to the end of the hour, so I'll take a couple more. So it looks like Instagram maybe it's got a delay, or the thread. I can't even sometimes with these live feeds. But YouTube is rocking and rolling. So as long as questions are phrased in a way that can be answered yes or no, I will totally answer. Okay. Oh, good. So, yeah, cultural differences are there. It's one of those, it's like, what do you agree to or not agree to? Like, you absolutely can be married, but I hear that his parents are kind of like, in the messaging, it's like they're pretty hardcore and like they're not going to transition. So if you're willing to go that route, okay. Okay, guys, I'm scrolling through the rest of these. I'll probably do just a couple more as we finish up this hour. Karen, you're so welcome. Pink Rose, is our relationship going forward to marriage? You all just type your questions, phrase them in a way that could be answered yes or no. I'll pull a single card, and I'll probably do 2 or 3 more here as we finish up in this hour, okay? So Pink Rose, is your relationship going forward to marriage? Ooh, that's a no right now. Okay, this is 5 of Swords. I mean, that's Queen of Hearts here. 5 of Swords is about like snatching up those arguments. It's like it's playing a little bit unfair. It has a lot to do with arguments. So at the moment, it's a no. That doesn't mean it's a no forever. It's right now that's a no. 5 means there needs to be some change. Swords are about intellect, acumen, and thought process and our subconscious programming. There's kind of an underlying anger, frustration, argument that needs to be cleared up before you can move forward for marriage. Okay? Let's see. Okay, I will do, let's see, it's 11:57. I will pull for 2 more. Okay, so that's Teresa and Lily. Okay, let's see, Teresa. Is your person using candle magic on you? Let's see, is your person using candle magic on you? Okay, I hear yes. This is 8 of Wands. This is, bravery and courageousness and information coming through quickly, soon. But I do hear yes. 8 is the number of empowerment. I don't necessarily get that this candle magic is bad. I hear yes. I don't hear that it's actually negative, but that information on it and the clarity will come soon. Soon being relative terms, like in the next, between now and the next, I hear now and the end of the month. So 8 is the number of empowerment. There's a moment of empowerment here for you, but understand that it's not always bad when somebody's using candle magic. It can often be a blessing. I hear blessing. That's what I hear. Okay, so that's a yes. Lily, will something about, will they accept your job transfer? Is that what? Will you get the job transfer? Okay, Lily. Will you get the job transfer? Okay, this is the Tower card. This is that things are going to change, right? In a big way. So I hear a no on the job transfer, but there's another transition at hand. The Tower can often look really scary. I happen to like the Tower because it means transition. It means change. It means systems that are currently in place don't work for you anymore. So the universe is going to make some big changes that will turn out for your highest and greatest good in the long run. So I hear no on the transfer. Some other transition will happen, but it seems bigger. It seems bigger. Okay. So I think it's definitely like have something on the back burner, have a side hustle, have something else lined up. Because I don't hear that the transfer goes through, but there's a bigger shift. Okay. I like the Tower. Hang on to the Tower and all of its beautiful elements of transition and change and catharsis, even when it looks really messy. Okay. So it is 12 o'clock. That is a full hour here for Tangent and Tuesday. I thank you all so much for being here with me today. I absolutely love and appreciate you all being here. And thank you to all the new beautiful souls in the room asking questions and seeking from the tarot and being a part of the Unicorn Wellness community. If you haven't, subscribe to this channel already, please do. Click the like button for this video. It helps a lot. If you want to share and let people know that I'm live on Mondays and Tuesdays. Tuesday is the day that I take live questions from and for you all. And if you haven't already, head over to UnicornWellness.Studio. This is really where the stars meet the concrete, and this is our subscription-based site that we've had for 6 years. There's a code for 30 days free on the site there at the website, and you can try the workouts for free along with the monthly, the new, and the full moon tarot readings for the month for the community, as well as a guided meditation. Plus, of course, you have brand new 30-minute workouts on the mat every 3 days that are written in accordance to the current astrology. So it genuinely helps us harness, anchor, and connect to divine manifestation through the physical body and through a physical practice, okay? I love you all very much. I will see you next week. I think if my brain calendar is correct, next week will be the our new moon. So we'll play Unicorn Bingo. We'll talk about where the moon is in this next lunation, and then we'll get to live tarot polls on Tuesday. Okay? I love you all very much, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.